What if your favorite show came back, but it wasn't the same? Like, imagine you're at a coffee shop, sipping your third latte, and suddenly the barista drops a bombshell. Hey, your ex is back in town. You're instantly nostalgic. Remember those cinnamon rolls? That awkwardly charming laugh? But then you notice their new haircut, their posture, the way they're holding a cup of espresso instead of milk. And you're like, oh. Right. That's why we broke up. That's what watching the new Ted Lasso season feels like. It's not just a return, it's a reckoning with the thing that once made you feel all warm and fuzzy. Jason Sudeikis' Ted Lasso, that Kansas City dreamer who somehow convinced an English soccer team to embrace optimism, has been gone for 3 years. 3 years where the world got darker, more cynical, and somehow, even the idea of a show about a guy who talks to his players about the power of believing in yourself feels quaint. But here we are. The show's back, and now we have to ask, is this the same Ted Lasso we fell for, or is this the version of him that's just tired? Let's unpack this. The last season ended with Ted choosing his son over a contract extension. It was a classic choose your family moment, but it also felt like a setup for a long hiatus. 3 years is a lifetime in TV land. Shows evolve, actors grow, and audiences change. What makes this really interesting is how the show's creators are trying to balance nostalgia with something new. They're not just rehashing the "so long, farewell" musical number or the magical penalty kicks that defied physics. Instead, they're leaning into the idea that Ted Lasso isn't just a character, he's a feeling. A reminder that joy is possible, even when the world feels like it's falling apart. But here's the thing, when you've spent years being the light in the dark, what happens when the darkness gets louder? That's the tension I see here. It's not just about whether the show can recapture its magic, it's about whether the world can still want that magic. One thing that immediately stands out to me is how the show's humor has shifted. Early seasons were full of awkward charm, like when Ted tried to explain American football to a room of Brits who looked like they were about to faint. Now, the jokes feel more strained. Like the writers are trying too hard to be edgy without losing the heart of the show. What many people don't realize is that humor in a show like this isn't just about laughs, it's about connection. If the jokes fall flat, the emotional beats suffer. And that's a problem because Ted Lasso's strength has always been its ability to make you care about characters who are, at their core, human. But if the show feels like it's trying to be both a comedy and a drama, it risks becoming neither. A detail I find fascinating is how the show's return coincides with a cultural moment where people are craving authenticity. We're tired of performative positivity, of influencers selling us joy as a product. Ted Lasso's original charm was that it didn't sell anything, it just was. It was a show that said, hey, maybe the world isn't so bad if you try to be kind. But now, in an age where kindness feels like a luxury, does that message still resonate? Or does it feel like a relic? This raises a deeper question: can a show that's built on a specific kind of optimism survive when the world around it is increasingly skeptical of optimism? And if it can't, does that mean the show has outlived its purpose? Or is this just the next chapter in its story? If you take a step back and think about it, Ted Lasso's return isn't just about a TV show, it's about how we process nostalgia in a world that's constantly changing. It's about the fear that the things we loved might not be able to survive the passage of time. And yet, here we are, watching it again. Maybe that's the point. Maybe the show isn't about being perfect, it's about trying, even when the odds are stacked against you. So, what do you think? Is this the same Ted Lasso we fell for, or is this a new version of him? And more importantly, can a show that's built on joy still find a place in a world that's learning to live with pain? Let me know in the comments. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about a football coach. It's about all of us, trying to find our way back to the light.